welcome to the Life Happens podcast. I'm your host, Grace. And before I introduce you to my co-host, guys, let me remind you that the Life Happens podcast is a podcast where we combine our spirituality with everyday practical things to create this beautiful balance that you see in front of you. Because we are all about balance. Are we not, ladies?
Yes.
All about it. We bowed it. We bowed it.
Hey, go. No, ma'am. No. Kim, never mind. I can't even say what I'm saying.
She's been on one this afternoon or evening.
I am keeping in my chest because Kim is talking to me about a particular situation and then talking to me in an accent. My own accent, trying to be funny.
It was very funny. I'm very funny.
Guys, our topic today is about women who want to be single parents by choice. But before we get into that, can you say hi to the good folks out here?
Hello, everyone. It's so good that everyone joined in. I'm very excited about this show. I didn't know this was a thing. My daughter, who is 25, is like, yeah, Mom, you don't know? And I was like, no, I didn't know that was a thing. She was like, man, I may watch y'all podcast tonight because, I want to hear what you guys have to say. She's like, because this is really a hot topic amongst, my age groups,
Right.
the choices that they make and everything. And I was like, wow, I didn't know it was a thing. So,
I mean, I can't imagine. But anyway, what about you guys? Well, before we get into that, Tonya, you guys know Tonya was with us last week, and we had to have her again.
Yay, Tonya!
Hey y'all. Difficulties right now. I'm trying to fix it.
Tonya couldn't stay away. She couldn't stay away, y'all.
We want to have Tonya because Tonya is bomb, y'all.
Yes.
And we love her insights. So we're gonna have Tonya. I'm hoping she'll come on a few more times with us.
We didn't talk about our week. Rabia, what was your week like?
Child, let me tell y'all. So I did a taping this Saturday. It's like a Christian woman show. It's kind of like The View, and this was our pilot show.
Ooh.
So
Oh wow.
it was so cool, y'all. It was so fun.
Nice.
Stuff, not too Christian, where everybody can't relate. That's the whole idea, right? To reach everybody,
Right.
not just be in this club that we in. Have you noticed Christian people? We go somewhere, we want to go to all the Christians instead of going to people that don't fit in with us. The Lord had to check me about that because I am still part of this deliverance group, and I would only want to talk to people that are in deliverance. Well, God didn't. I mean, you're good. Like, I need to be venturing forth out there. Go ye therefore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that really changed my mindset. So I had a blast though. It was so fun though.
That's nice.
Good.
I did.
Awesome.
Hey, y'all, nights away from the kids.
What?
Even better.
What?
I've been living.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Felicia, what was your week like?
Anyway,
As you can see, the hair is not giving, the makeup's not giving. I've been remodeling my house, my laundry room. So I've been
Nice.
painting and hanging cabinets. I've been just the DIYer this week.
Nice. I love remodeling.
Mm-hmm. So that was the interesting part of my week. Oh, no, it's not.
what?
This weekend, me and my husband went to go see Music Soul Child, Kim, and Lettucey. That concert was bomb.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Had so much fun.
I cannot wait for me to say one day, I want to go with my husband. Hey, girl. What about you, Tonya?
Okay, so my phone was messing up. What are we talking about? Our week or our weekend?
Weekend.
The week.
Weekend.
Yeah, what do you
So
do?
well, the week out was, I've been working and learning to grow. I am growing. But tomorrow I leave to go to the Pink Impact at church. So it's women's conference.
Cool.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
I'm excited about that because I'm trying to find my spiritual side. So a weekend full of praise and worship and just, some good speaking and being around good people. I'm really excited for it. I need it.
That's really good. And let me tell you, what you're looking for, honey, you're going to find it because God loves it. God loves us to chase him. He is definitely going to meet you where you're at. So I'm excited for you.
Me
Yes.
too.
That is
I'm
wonderful.
excited.
Me
So
too.
Kim, you send me some stuff about children in single mother by choice families. So Can you elaborate a little more about that? Because you said your daughter talked to you about that.
Yeah, so I was talking to my 25-year-old Jessica, and I was telling her what this, like I said, this podcast was going to be on, what the topic was. And she's like, wow, she said, I get it though, why women choose it, because it's so hard to date nowadays. Because, I mean, you have all the, Tinder, and you have all those things that you can get on, but it's so hard to find the right person that kind of meets you where you are, and, you guys come together. So, in that search, you find women who are like 36 years old, they're 38 years old, and they're like, you know what? I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to find the perfect mate. I don't want to wait. I want to be a mom. So, and
Right.
she's like, and she told me, Mom, that's something I would do. I was
Really?
like, really? And she was like, yeah, I would do that. She said, but I'd want to foster kids, but I would do that without a husband because I want to be a mom. And I was like, wow, that was a good conversation. Me and her never had that conversation before. So
What was your response to her though when she said that to you?
I was like, wow, well, make sure that you have the funds to support uh,
Really?
those,
I'm
those
surprised.
foster children and the adoptive kids and the kids that you want to have. Make sure that you have the funds to support them.
I'm actually
Well,
so
with foster kids, they help you though.
They do?
you get money for that, honey. So
Yeah.
Oh,
notice
okay.
talking because you're so traditional.
I know, but you have to kind of loosen up and kind of, you know,
Yeah,
not be
give
so
me,
tightly
give me
wound
my shoe.
up. But I mean, if that's her choice, if that's what she wants to do, I mean, hey, go for it. I don't see that as being an easy life. And I told her that because without the other parent, it's so much harder because everything is on you.
On you.
Everything.
Listen,
Discipline is on you.
listen.
Everything.
Everything is on you.
Like,
Right.
I mean, I didn't start off as a single parent,
Right.
but I am now, and it's hard. It's not
Yeah.
easy, especially when you have a male son that's bigger than you. Not that he's not respectful, but I don't have a deep voice. I mean, I can't say you better clean your room. Like, what do you be like? God, bite the time. It's like my brother is way smaller than my son. But when he speaks to him, you can tell he's really listening. So men can talk to men a certain way and they respond, right? It's very, very hard, especially when he went through puberty. So when I see women that want to be single parents by choice, I'm just like, girl,
I know.
like,
I think it's the culture though.
hmm,
I think it's the culture because I mean you're on TikTok as well, and TikTok family can attest to this. We have moved into a culture where it's like we don't want to be like our grandmothers. We're not going to be in these marriages. We're not going to put up with all this, that, and whatever. And people that are married are not happy because it is a narrative that if you're married, you're probably not happy. You're more than likely not happy. They really push that narrative. So if that narrative is being pushed and you want kids and you're like, well, there's nothing out here, why would I want to get married? I don't want my grandmother's marriage. I don't want to live miserably in a marriage. So I would just rather have my kid and be a mother and be done with it.
I understand that because I'm thinking now, if I didn't have kids, 'cause I can't imagine my life without my kids. Like, if I didn't have kids, would I like save my eggs? At least if I had the two viable eggs I probably have right now, would I save those two eggs?
If I didn't have kids, yeah, at this late
Yeah.
age, I would. But the brat is pregnant. She's 48.
Yeah.
Or that.
Who?
Yeah.
The brat, the rapper, remember the brat
She don't
with
remember.
the braids?
So someone said,
Rapper,
what song did she
90s.
sing? And I was like,
Yeah, she raps. That was a long time ago. I
I
don't
said
think
the
you know.
90s.
Well, everyone's waiting to have children now, and their women are waiting in their 40s, they're waiting in their 50s to have children.
And
So
that is a
women
bad decision.
are waiting. They're you don't find this big culture of people in their 20s that are having children,
You know
in
what?
this day and age.
That's kind of disastrous from a medical point of view because
Right.
you could end up with a child with a lot of problems.
yep.
And being an older parent, are you willing to even? I mean, damn, that's a difficult one. Not saying that it happens to everyone. Now, I will say this: my parents had me and my younger brother when they were pretty old. Like my dad was born in 1927. That's how old, and my mother is born in 1939. Right? I have ADHD, but it's mild. My brother had hyperactivity, which he had difficulty learning because those eggs and his sperm was old, guys. I'm just saying. It's just gonna happen.
Well, that's not it. But I have a lot of friends that had problems getting pregnant, even in their early 30s. And I know a lot of other people really close to me that had problems getting pregnant. And I always, even when my sister first got married, I was like, go ahead and get pregnant. Because, it may take you 8 years to get pregnant. It may take you 5 years to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people had problems that were around me that I knew. And my sister even told me, she said, my doctor said I had till I was 42. So back then they was preaching that narrative that you have all this time, but they don't tell you if you have complications, that time is shortened and, it's not
Yeah.
good. Because I had my last child at 35 and that was almost geriatric.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I can't do this again. Because after 40, you wake up with unknown ghost pains that you don't know where they came from. I can't imagine that plus baby pains. No,
See,
but yeah,
at 36, and they considered me high risk, even though I had great pregnancy. Because you're
right.
old.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was young.
Yeah.
I was young. I had my first kid. I got pregnant at 16. I had her at 17. And then I had my son at 21, 22. So I'm 30. I'm about to be 35 this year. I have a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old, or 12. He's going to be 13. She's going to be 18. Honestly, I tell people this all the time. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Yes, it was hard. My kid's dad, he was, we were together. He was good and stuff until, once the separation. What are you? Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I got a puppy, and this puppy is just really. That's my baby right now. First he had my shoes, so I had to chase him. Now he's on my couch.
Listen, with the pillow.
Yeah. It was hard, being young and doing all that. But now I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, yes, I'm a single mom, and it is hard doing it by myself. But hey, my kids are big, and I'm 35. By the time I'm 40, I'm ready. And so I was young, but I mean, it was hard. It was very hard. It was probably more of a financial setup. So sometimes I think, would I have waited? But I wouldn't trade it.
Would you have a baby? Question: would you have a baby now?
No.
She said,
no.
Strong no.
No.
You know what? Honestly, I never hear about teen pregnancy anymore.
Nope.
I never hear about it.
Are you serious?
Our teens is still having.
Yeah.
It happens, but not as often.
Not as
No,
often.
it doesn't.
By the way, I have people on TikTok. Hi, TikTok audience. Somebody said, Prince says, Deborah, she rapped about 40 years ago. He says,
I just need to remember one song. I could not, for the life of me, remember one song. I had to Google it. I was like, I don't remember how it goes though.
And then Connie says, you can't believe what these jokes
Fuckified.
Oh.
I mean, doctors will tell you, they tell you from statistics, right? But each person is unique. Like people have asked me, men I've met that have asked me, well, would you consider having another baby? No. At 47? Because I told one person, I said, in order for us to have a baby, first of all, I must really be in love with you to say, yes, I'll lay there and take it and let you just sleep with me with no protection and get pregnant. Number one. Number two, no. Like, I can't imagine starting over. And that would mean we need to start having unprotected sex from now because I'll be 48 in December. So we ain't got a lot of time now. I don't know. Yeah, my mother was fertile, but I ain't gonna do that. My kids are old enough. Like I was able to spend the night away from home. Hello. I ain't got diapers and access to wipe. I'm excited.
They can feed themselves.
Yeah.
If I didn't want to cook, I don't have to cook. Like, and to start over, that's why I don't understand. Like, but I know that people are wanting to have kids later. People are freezing their eggs. I don't think that's a bad thing because you can always get a.
I don't think
It's
so.
not. It's just, I know the difference. Like I had a baby at 25 and I had one at 35. Baby, that 25, that 35, it was like, oh my God. It was so different. It was like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot, after that baby. But each pregnancy is different too. So who's to say?
true. So
My actual gynecologist had a baby at 42 and 43 because she was pregnant at the same time I was with my last kid.
Oh, wow.
So she just had them back to back like that. So
Wow. Now, I wouldn't mind a single parent raising a child if it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Not the child. I'm talking about the relationship. I'm talking about the rearing of the child. If it's a healthy situation. Now, you got women that are raising sons that their sons are not men. I'm sorry. They're lazy. They're looking for another mama, you know, to help raise them. And the women aren't doing the men any good. They do everything for them. They don't teach them. You find men that are 18 years old don't know how to change a tire if you get a flat. They don't know how to change the oil in a car. They don't know how to do simple things. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to change a tire. It's like, what do you mean you don't know how to change a tire? You're 18 years old. What do you mean?
I mean, no one taught them, obviously.
Or a mom that's in the car, her teenage son is in the car, and she stops and gets gas, and she gets out and pumps the gas. I mean,
the devil is a liar, okay?
Yeah.
Bye. I really have my car. What if, no, the worst thing, y'all, is when you see couples and the woman is pumping gas and this lazy ass is sitting in the car. Or groceries. Oh, that's the worst one. I told my son one day we were going somewhere and I saw a man doing it. His wife was doing the groceries. And I said, unless he got no legs or he's sicker than a dog. And then this Negro got out the car, y'all. And then goes back and doesn't help her. And it's raining also, by the way. And I told my son, that's a sorry ass ninja. Don't you ever in your life. No, sir. But you're right, though.
Women don't have boundaries. And I do have a funny story. I know Kim has heard me tell this story before. But when me and my husband were dating, I was living in Lubbock and the snow was like almost to your waist in Lubbock.
Jesus.
And me and him I was like, oh, I need some gas. I was driving my car. He was sitting in the passenger seat. And I told him back then $5 could, do damage to your car. So I said, I'm going to get $5 worth of gas. I'm going to go inside and pay. Number one, I'm paying for the gas, right? So I get out there and I get back in the car and I was like, whoa, you pump that gas fast. He's like, oh, I don't pump gas for nobody but my mama and my aunties and da-da-da-da. I said, really? Okay. So I got out the car and I pumped the gas. I gave him $1. I said, could you go in the store and give me some chips? He went in the store and got some chips and I drove off. He had to walk home in that snow. I said, no, I'm not doing that. And he kept calling me and calling me and calling me and calling me. Now, this is a man I made walk home in the snow. I know it was like at least 5 miles from his dorm. I was like, I'm not having that. And ever since then, girl, my husband will break his neck to get out the car to pump my gas. And see, no, I don't play like that. Even as a grown woman, I leave you at Northeast Mall. I do not play those games. My son already knows I don't play those games. Mm-hmm. If my son is sitting in the car and I stop, he'll say, how much, mama? Mm-hmm. So he'll know how much to pump, or I'll give him the card or whatever, but no. And that's the problem. We're not raising men anymore.
I know.
That's
Yeah. And I think that's where it takes a village too. So, there has to be guys to step in for the single parents.
Yes.
That me, I instill it in my son as much as I can. Yeah. He is kind of a little lazy, but what kid isn't, but we, even right now, his dad is still in his life and whatnot. But he'll go in the summer, he goes to work. You go to work, you're not doing anything, go to work. He'll go make a couple dollars. My aunt, she needs help, or my grandmother, they live down the street. You're going to go and help them. Right. Every morning, me and him drive over 45 minutes to school and work. He goes to school in a different town. We stop and get gas. He already knows. He gets out, he pumps the gas. I go inside and buy a Gatorade and some Takis. So, I think that also too, it's just kind of I think it's more of like an upbringing as well. Is that, because in our family, that's what men do. You take her. So I pass that down even when his dad's not around or nobody's not around. And sometimes you got to get on them because, it's just they're kids. You got to teach them. But I think that it does. It takes a village. And, I know Robbie has mentioned a few times about her brother stepping in and things like that. So I think that nowadays it is a little bit more easier to single parent because there is that family, especially if you have the family ties. And most people who are doing this right now, and I don't know, this is just from me on the inside looking in, and from the people I hear that do it. Those the people that are the women that are deciding to do this are usually more career minded. So they go and they get established. They do this first of all, and they can afford to freeze their eggs because that's not cheap.
No, it's not.
You know, so that I think that's another thing too. It's like, okay, well, hey, if this woman wants to be a single mom, hey, she could probably afford a nanny or help and stuff like that. So more power to them.
I like that. If a child is going to grow up in a single parent home and that parent chose that and it's healthy, that's great. I'd rather that than a person grow up with a dad and a mom and the family is dysfunctional.
No, I agree.
Yes.
Right. I mean, even with the partner, just let's be honest, you still need a village. Even if you have a partner, you still need other people, you know, in their lives.
See, like this weekend, my son is going to my brother's house because he needs a tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
He needs a tune-up. And I told my brother, because my brother just came back from Malaysia, and I said, listen, brother, your nephew needs a tune-up. Oh, send him over. Okay. And that means he's going to work. So, but the thing about my son is that he likes to work with his hands. So build stuff. Like if I buy stuff that needs to be put together, he can do it because my brother taught him to do that.
You're right. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Here and there. Which we like all depend on this 15-year-old in the house, all the women, like, because there's some shit we're just not going to do.
Right.
Can you figure this out? Can you do that? But if he hadn't been around my brother, he probably wouldn't know how to do that because my ex was useless. He couldn't do shit. Did I say
that? I remember my friend Carla. She was a single parent for a while, and her 16. I walked in the house, and she told her 16-year-old son. She said, "Mom, I need my oil changed." And he looked at her and he's like, "Mom, I don't know how to do that." She says, "Well, go figure it out." And she said he has to learn certain things. His dad's not here to teach him. So I have to teach him. He has to learn how to do certain things. I was like, whoa.
Did you see, I don't know, Robbie may have saw, you may have saw this too, Deborah, on TikTok where this guy is putting his mom out of the home. And this is how these situations are created. She is apparently a single mom. And she was living with her son, and she was like, "Can y'all believe he's putting his mom out of his home for his wife, for this woman?" I don't know if it's going to be his girlfriend or wife or whatever situation, but this woman was on there playing such a victim role about her son putting her out of his home. It's like, okay, Mom, but what was the plan? Did you just plan on living with your son forever?
I mean,
you know, I know.
No, and that's how we create these. That's why these problems are being created. Where these moms, not all, but it's a lot of moms out there that think they're the girlfriend. Like, I'm not sitting in the back seat. I'm not, I'm answering his phone. And who is this? It doesn't matter who this is. Who is this? It's like a mom is going back and forth with her son's girlfriend who doesn't know that she's talking to his mom.
Yeah.
You don't go into your room with that.
So but when you find someone, when you have someone, women who want to be parents by choice just because they're lonely.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
You know?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was talking to a guy yesterday and I said, I don't need a husband. I want a husband.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that means when I first got divorced and if I got married immediately, that was meaning I was going to get married because I need my bills to be paid on time. Because I was, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you want to need someone that way because a lot of times men will try to trap you too, though, by the way. If you need. Treat you like shit. And then they're not even that cute and you doing them a favor almost, okay? If you're gonna mistreat me, baby, bye, because I'm broke. Nah. But see, but I am spoiled because I have a brother again, right? If I needed something, I can go to my brother and say, hey, I need this. No questions, he will do it for me. That's why it's very hard for me to get trapped because I know I have that safe haven. I can fall into this cushion, you know. We have this video. Do you guys watch the video already?
Yeah, I like it.
Let's play it and let's discuss, guys.
Okay.
I'm all for this. I got a couple of homegirls who are doing this. A couple of homegirls who have already frozen their eggs. You know, they've been open about it. Angela Rye, you know, Kendra G. But it kind of saddens me a little bit only because I'm like, what are we doing as men that these great women are out here and they got to do this.
Well, I'm going to be candid with you.
Okay.
Again, anybody could go get the club shot up.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
let's be clear. I'm really not. If you're not the love of my life and also somebody that I trust to make business decisions with, I'm really not trying to co-parent with you. There's certain things, y'all, at this point in my life, at almost 40, I'm really not trying to negotiate with you about getting my child immunized. It's non-negotiable. I'm not playing with you when it comes to my kids' education. There's certain, you know what I mean? And I know that might not sit well with everybody. That's not so politically correct, but I think I'd rather go it alone.
I mean, dang.
But why even do it at all?
Because
Why are we having kids?
Because she has a clock and she wants, okay, let me say this. So for the longest time, I never thought I would have kids, not because I physically couldn't have it. I just didn't want to have kids. Until one day, something inside of me shifted. I saw my sister-in-law sitting with my nephew. She just had my nephew and she was holding him, and something inside of me just changed. I was like, oh my God, I want to have a baby. Right? I mean, literally, because I didn't want kids. I was no way. Ooh, they're crying, all that shit. I was like, I think something inside of me changed, and I think that's what these women are talking about. Like, they want to have kids, they have that longing, they just haven't met that person that they want to have kids with, or maybe they have been so hurt that they just don't want to take a risk of having somebody mess stuff up for them. Because as a single parent, I can say, and having my ex, right? He is a problem, because if I correct my son and I say to him, hey, Salah's doing A, B, C, D, and I tell him, he's going to say, oh, son, you know how women are, instead of correcting the problem. So in that case, like, instead of, if he's being disrespectful, if he's disrespecting his mother as a father, it's bigger than just me. Your son's going to be somebody's husband one day and somebody's father.
Exactly.
So you have to think about that from that point of view. But no, all you remember is that I left your ass, and so you want to punish me. But you're not punishing me. You're hurting your child.
Right.
But no, we don't think like that because we're not that adults, are we? I mean, but that's probably why women don't want to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah.
Again, I'm getting on Kim's Deborah's coattail. Why are we having these babies? I understand the desire. I get it. The maternal desire, but why are you bringing a baby because you're lonely? Are you bringing a baby because you need somebody to love? I mean, why are you having this baby?
Those are valid points. Maybe you want somebody to love you, and so you feel like a child's gonna love you unconditionally, because if you notice, kids are the most forgiving, especially when they're younger. Like
when they're younger, let's not talk about the teenagers. I was telling Shelby, she was babysitting some babies, and I was like, they are so cute. They are so sweet until they become a teenager. And I looked at her.
Yeah.
Yes, they have opinions. All shit goes downhill, honey.
Yes.
But again, that's
it's
I
horrible.
question, and the reason I question that is because you were in love with your career. You were in love with other things in your life. Is this just the piece that you need, that you feel that needs to be completed? Is this just a challenge that you want to, work through? Are you looking for love? Or why is it a desire for you to go at it by yourself and have this kid?
And I have so in the ones that they mentioned, aren't these like older women too, though?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Because we can't also assume that just because they're freezing their eggs that they're going to carry the baby either.
Oh, they're probably not. Not at those ages.
Yeah.
A lot of them now, because even though people are married, you see these Hollywood stars, they have surrogate pregnancies.
Right. I know a few girls who were surrogates, a few. And I mean, it was for couples who waited and saved their eggs and got older, got through their career, and then they carried the kid for them, and and they're happy. Everybody's happy about it,
Talking about that, I have a friend, somebody I used to mentor a long time ago. She's having difficulty getting pregnant. She was like, Robbie, would you carry the baby for me? Hell no. The reason why, for many reasons, but the main reason is I can't imagine having a baby in my body and then saying, there you go, take your baby. Because the type of person I am, I wouldn't be praying, doing deliverance and all the stuff on this baby that I now have to give back to you.
True story. My I know I have a lady that I know. I'm just gonna say I know her. We're not friends, but she went through life and she really wanted a baby. She really wanted a baby. She really wanted a baby. And she says, like you said, the time is counting down. I want a baby. I don't want to wait any longer. So she had what do you call it when you get you use your own egg, but you get a donor?
The surrogate.
No, not
Oh.
surrogate. You have the baby. Like I'm 38.
A donor.
A donor,
Sperm donor.
Yeah, a male donor, whoever. So she went to the clinic. They got her pregnant because she didn't have problems getting pregnant. She just didn't have a person. Right. So she got pregnant, carried the baby, had the baby. 2 years later, she fell in love with this guy. They end up getting married. Now they have her baby, and she's having another baby.
Oh, that's cool.
But now her older daughter is asking about her father. And who is he?
So we didn't tell the child the truth? I mean,
she hadn't told the child anything yet.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So I think the little girl is like 5. She's in school now.
So she's young.
Yeah, she's in school now. So, they're talking about Father's Day, father stuff. And now she's like, where is my dad? And
this is your dad.
That's hard.
The guy that she's married to is her dad. Yeah. But he's not her dad because they're both black like me. And the guy she married is white.
Oh.
Okay. See, that's the tricky part of the situation. Like, oh, okay, well, we didn't think about that part.
Right. We didn't think this through.
But a lot of people don't think it through because if you think about it, once we make that decision, whatever need we have in us, we need to fulfill it. So we're not thinking about the kid may ask questions or how the kid's gonna feel. Because really though, let's be honest, it's out of God's order. I mean, now some may
God's order. Wait, what's out of God's order?
Like God created men and women to get married and procreate, right? So some may argue and say, well, maybe that's how God wanted the child to come into the world. I mean, you can look at this many ways, but I'm of the opinion that that's out of God's order. Even when we have kids out of wedlock, if we have sex before marriage, that's what's not God's plan for us.
Right.
He didn't plan that. He didn't plan us to have sex with people and then can't get over them.
Right.
There's consequences that come with the things that we do. I mean, it's just what it is. It's not to say that you're a bad person because those things are your life experience. I mean, who am I to say that to you? That's your business. But there's consequences to things that we do if it's outside of God's order.
But that's the crazy thing. If the desire is to have a child, why go get pregnant? It's so many unwanted kids here. Why not adopt?
I know, so many. But it's so
maybe it's not the same.
Adoption is so expensive.
That's true. It's very expensive, and you got to qualify.
Yeah,
it's so hard. I mean, a single parent adopting is that's kind of hard, but it's so many kids out there need homes.
It's a lot of kids.
If you've saved your money, like we said, you've established yourself. Why not try that route?
Well, again, it goes back to what needs we have. There's a need that only a child can fill for that particular person. They want to experience the baby in the belly. They want to experience the freaking vomiting. I mean, now that we've been pregnant, we understand that heart blood, all the things that it comes with. They want to know. I gotta tell you this. There was a girl. I don't know if any of you have seen this on TikTok. She became pregnant and she was a virgin because the guy ejaculated on her leg, right? So she goes. True story. So she goes. She go. No, they checked her. Like she had a hymen was intact, guys. Like seriously.
Okay. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So she goes to the doctor, and they find.
How did she get pregnant again?
He ejaculated on her leg, and the swimmer, he swam right.
Okay.
It was pretty close.
I was gonna say.
Come on. It had to be close. I mean, guys,
it wasn't by her knee. I'm saying. Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm like,
I doubt it. Most of the doctor, the guy was like, "No, we didn't have sex, so you must have cheated on me," and blah blah blah. Of course, and I mean, rightly so, right? Because you didn't penetrate her, and she had the baby, a virgin, had a baby.
What did she do? Did she do the DNA test to prove it was his?
She had to because the guy was saying, "No, you lying," you know. And, and even the doctor, she told the doctor she didn't have sex, and then when they checked her, they were like, "Oh yeah, she she's not
Yeah.
my virgin."
How horrible is that? That's like
Yeah.
horrible. You didn't even get to enjoy making a baby. It's like
I
I'm
would
just
cry
crazy.
forever.
No.
I mean, seriously, like, and then just think about it, right? That's how you lose your virginity giving birth.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
You really break it
Working
down.
out.
Oh,
How
The
how
reverse.
horrible is that?
Mm-mm.
That's
How
disturbing.
unfun is
I'm
that?
I'm scared now. No.
she must
I
make fun.
know. I'm like Tonya. I'm scared.
Okay, I gotta read this comment on TikTok. Mike says he shut the club up from the outside.
I could.
Yeah, he did. From the
Yeah,
outside.
you do.
I mean,
Okay, so I have it pictured in my head, which I probably shouldn't be, but I'm like, okay, no, there's no way it was on her leg.
nah, it wasn't on a leg. It was on anyway.
Yeah.
You know what's up. I mean,
I didn't know that could happen.
that's the only way it could happen. It got very close to the vagina.
It would
Yeah.
have to be extremely close because doesn't it die after so
That's
long?
what I thought when it
Well,
took
I mean,
air.
those are swimmers, okay? They are very strong, and the best man won apparently.
The best man was
He was
That was funny, Felicia. That was funny.
the visual.
like how?
So I wonder if they stayed together or like how that ended up being.
I mean, I
You
could
know.
explicitly explain it, but I don't want to do that, y'all.
Yeah, no, don't. Because y'all don't even want to know the visual I have in my head.
Oh, me too. Like mine's
You
just
all have that visual.
unholy.
Yeah.
I gotta keep doing this.
Oh my God, that is so funny. So
Well,
if,
to get back to the topic, they
Yes.
did
Single
do a
mothers.
study that showed kids that were raised by single parents who chose it, not ones that were forced into it, like Rabia, because of divorce. But parents who chose it, the child is more well adjusted. They said.
I
Or
see.
just as
Parents home.
the same. It
I
can
can
be
see that.
same.
It's about the
Feeling for
same,
healthy
right?
parents.
There was no
But I
difference.
mean, again, village. You do need a village. Even if you have a man, you still need a good village.
You do.
Because even when I had Caitlin, I had a Reed, I had my parents, I had a village, I had people that I could go to that would help me out. So, and I had a husband too. But it's just like it's like a village, You actually need a village. Even with my son, he has my husband, but there's other coaches, there's other men in his life that he listens to as well. It still takes that village. It's not just, and we need to get out of that concept that it's just a man and a woman. It's a family.
Yeah.
And that's the way the family works. If you look in other cultures, you know how you have the grandma, the grandpa all living together in the same house.
Yeah,
That's the village,
exactly.
And we don't here in America, we don't do that. Multi-family homes where like it's,
I wish
the
we
village.
did though. I wish we did.
Maybe it's only us, the ones that come from Africa. We still do that. Like,
Mhm.
I think that Americans should start doing that.
Well, the cost of housing is gonna cause us to do it.
Yep.
Because I may have all my kids and their husbands and wives, but yeah, no, I don't claim
no,
that.
but let me tell you though, that's a very difficult situation to be in. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when my brother, now he's in South Africa, my youngest brother got married. He moved his wife into my mother's house. My mother has a big house over there. So they were like, "Oh, don't go get your own place. You can come stay with me, girl." This girl, his wife, got her own fridge and put it in her bedroom, like completely separate. And we, like, our family's not used to that. So my mother stays at home, right? And she wanted to cook, like, for my brother and his wife, so that because they're working, you don't have to worry about all that. She did not want that. So I asked my mom. I said, "Did you all have conversations before she moved in?" Because the conversations had to be had. No conversations were had. They end up getting divorced because my mother doesn't like this woman. So when he
Wow.
left,
Really?
like, he's such a I can't cuss anymore. Anyway, he divorces his wife because my mother doesn't like his wife. So what the hell is this? Okay.
Is he still at home with his mother?
No, hold on, y'all. My mother gets sick, almost dies, comes up. I guess she has this light bulb moment, says, son, if you want to be with your wife, fine. He feels relieved, remarries her, but now they don't live in the same house. He lives with my mother 3 days a week, and then the other 4 days is with his wife. I told him, sir, you can be my man, because you ain't living with your mama like that. Because when I want my husband, I want him. I'm like, oh, are you going to be with your mother? Bumble there. Nope.
No.
That's what he does. But again, it also goes back to culture. That is acceptable in that. My brother has been, he's like the 13th child. He's the last one. And my mother is elderly. So the responsibility, he's taken it on.
Ah.
So culturally, it also can be crippling. Especially when you have a parent that's so controlling and he's listening to everything this woman is saying. And I told him, brother, she's 80 something. When she's not here, what are you going to do? You staying with your wife 4 days, or sometimes, well, he alternates days, so some weeks is 4, sometimes it's 3.
Well, that means they can miss each other now.
Girl,
sometimes you need space.
I'm like, Rabia, that wouldn't work for me.
That wouldn't work for me either.
And listen, when in our culture, if I get married to somebody, his mother becomes like my mother. I will do everything for his mother like I do for my own mother, right? I'm gonna treat her like that.
Right.
True. But that's my husband. Like, he's not staying with you. He's not spending the night. I don't even mind sitting in the back seat. Like, when my mother comes to the States, my sister-in-law doesn't even see her kitchen because she's not allowed to cook. But she's an African woman, so she's cool with it. Like, that's fine. But me as an Americanized African, I wouldn't be cool with that. I can't imagine every day you doing that. But they're fine with that. So that village mentality, it has to have boundaries.
Yeah.
It has to have boundaries. And the thing with us, our African people, we don't do that. A lot of African women get married, of course, to breed, but just to say they have husbands, because that's what we've been trained. You must have a husband. That's why every time I go home, they're like, oh, you 40 something years old and you got children, you don't have a husband. And they literally all get together and talk about who the hell I'm going to marry. No.
Wow.
And then they'll say, oh, you forgot who you are. Bye. Okay.
No woman's revolution has come to Africa yet, Rabia?
Huh?
A woman's revolution hasn't come,
In the way my parents or my mother and them are, baby, please. You cannot, like, wearing shorts here, even mid-length shorts. Oh, why are you showing your legs? You're a mother of 3. You shouldn't show your legs. Or don't show your arms. Go back. I have to tell my mom, ma'am, I lost my hymen many, many moons ago.
You tell your mom that. I like your mom so much.
I straight talk with her though. I had to let her know. That's culture. Although I do appreciate the help. When my brother is reprimanding my son, I never say a word. Even if I don't agree, because it's not things that are detrimental to him. Because as a mother and as a woman, I'm like, oh, he's talking to my baby so harshly. But he needs that.
Right.
So that's why I shut the hell up. I don't even have an opinion unless it's religion. Don't talk to them about religion now. But anything else, how to be a man and how to do certain things, I'm going to shut the hell up. Because I told my kids, I have been priming my kids for the longest time. One day, mom's going to remarry. And when we in the same house with whoever I'm married to, he's going to reprimand you. We're going to have these conversations. You may not like it. I'm not going to tell you, call him dad. He's not your dad. Mm-hmm. But you cannot call him by his first name, my guy. That's disrespectful. Stuff like that. We as mothers have to prepare our children. But we can't do that because why? We may be unhealed. We may never have an example. Somebody never said to us, hey, baby, come here. The way you're doing this is not the right way. Why? Because when you try to correct people nowadays, they will cuss your ass out. Unless you have a relationship.
I'm guilty.
So then, yeah.
I said I was guilty of that.
Because you
like my daughter, yeah. Because my daughter is very, very outspoken, and she can get, she can get like that. And so, and I tell her now, like, hey, first, we're not going to do this anymore. Any adult that comes in here, if I bring an adult around, it's because I know that they're a good person. So you're going to respect them, first of all. But I think that too, again, that was me as a child, raising a child. So, I think it does have a lot to do with culture, but like, and how the kids are raised too. But like we were talking earlier, there isn't really, the teenage pregnancy rate isn't high anymore. So they are turning to these alternative methods to have kids in the future, which me personally, I would love if she did that and waited until she was like 40 to have a kid. That's what I'm waiting on.
No. No.
I don't want to be a meemaw.
I told my daughter, like, wait until like you finish your master's, please.
Yeah.
And get married or whatever. And if she doesn't, and then but you cannot call me granny. That's too old. I'm not old.
Now I have 2 daughters, and I don't give them any sort of like wait till you finish anything. I just say, make sure just in the right timing of the Lord, because I believe that there's a time for everything. And just make sure you're in the right timing. So finish your degree, however you want to do it, but it's just make sure that the timing is right.
And like the people that are doing this, is there like a certain demographics or a culture or
they all got money? These people have a lot of when I did the research, a lot of these women are financially independent. They don't need a man to help.
They just want to be
and I don't think that's right, because it might not be the pregnancy experience, because to me that was the worst, but it is also going to doing, for me, when my kids were little, I had more fun doing like the birthday parties and making treats and doing like the little, little things. Now that they're older, they don't like that stuff. I'm like, who am I going to make bows for now? When she wouldn't wear the bows anymore. So I know a few women that waited until they were older, and that's what they wanted to experience. Going to cheerleading practice, going to football, that kind of stuff. Not just really the pregnancy part either.
Well, I know, and this is something else in that culture of being a single mom. I know back in the 90s, I think I had Kaylin in 98, and maybe you can attest to this as well, Deborah. When you're pregnant, your hands swell. And I even now, my hands swell really bad, and I don't wear my ring. So when I was out there pregnant, it was I was received differently with a ring than I was without.
Wow.
I was received very differently. So it was like that culture has changed to where it's more acceptable, to be a single mother without. Because when I think I was 25 and I was married, I didn't think about it because my hands would literally swell where I couldn't put it. It was like way too tight. And, women would treat me different, especially, and not women my age, older women would talk to me differently, treat me differently. And, they would make little comments like, well, it's going to be hard doing this on your own. Like, I don't even know you. Why are you talking to me? You don't even know. Why are you talking to me? But
they were judgmental. They were thinking you were single parents. And even if you were single parents, the Bible says that the older woman trained the younger woman. If you felt like then you need a training, then damn, they should talk to you kinder.
No.
And even with you, Tonya, when you said that you didn't really listen to people, I'm certain they didn't come to you right. It's because I know you to be very teachable. So if you shut that down, they came to you a certain way, and you probably felt a certain way, from what I know about you. So they probably need to be cussed out anyway. Don't be a judgmental asshole.
But also too, I think it's a generation thing, and like that was 98, it's 2003. So they're starting to, they're kind of get their, the grandparents of the world or the older women of the world are like my grandmother and stuff, that they're like, okay, 60, 70, where I don't know. I just feel like it's more, like y'all said, it's more acceptable now. So, and this is a thing because it's proven that it works. And you read the study where it says that those children are more adaptable and stable because they didn't go through the whole, divorce, split apart, new boyfriend, new husband type, like someone like I did, a whole bunch of stepdaddies. They didn't go through that, So I could see that being being a really good valid cause and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
Oh, it used to be, and I don't know, Rabia, did you go to high school in the States?
no, I went to high school now.
No.
Okay, but in the States, it was a big deal when the girl got on the pregnancy bus. Like, ooh, she pregnant. It was like a big deal. It was a big stigmatism. And here now, it's not that. I see girls that look like they're younger than my daughters, and my daughters are 20 and 24 in Walmart with itty bitty babies. It's like,
Girl,
first of all, you don't
Yeah.
need to be out, and this baby don't need to be out. I literally asked this little girl, I was like, oh, your baby, because the baby was like, I was like, how old is your baby? She said 3 weeks.
damn.
Girl,
Oh, at Walmart.
Oh wow.
at Walmart. I'm like, girl, but like I said, with the openness of more, because I mean, like back in my day, LGBTQ letter, that was not as open as it is
Right.
now. So
Right.
I'm thinking that because a lot of my I know family members that have kids that are now they're LGBT, they're LGBT, so it's like so many girls are LGBT, so that's probably not gonna be their story, wanting
Right.
to date a man.
That's true.
So the whole culture is different.
Drank a lot of coffee today.
Yes, I did. I had 2 cups. Thank you.
I drank Monsters. And I did drink 2.
It's some
Yo, I did the thing today. Yeah. I did a thing today. So I sometimes I have anxiety. Ivan says you're hype as fuck. Sometimes I have anxiety, so I have this medication that I take, right? So it's the first time I took this particular medication. So I took a piece of it, y'all. Girl, my mouth started tingling. My eyeballs got warm on the inside. I was talking so much, and I really talk fast, and my mouth was going. And then I said to myself, "What the hell's wrong with you?" So then I ate, and then it came down. It was fun while it lasted.
Like that Phenermine. I'll never take one of those and go to work again.
No, y'all. But the thing of it is, I think I'm gonna cut it into 8 pieces, and I'm going to because I was very focused. Though once I calmed the hell down, I was very focused. I was like,
yeah. Did you say amphetamine?
Yeah.
she said,
Those diet pills.
No,
"Hey Archie,
y'all. Never. I took that pill years ago, trying to lose weight. Y'all know that song, The Bumblebee? That's how I felt. Literally.
Did you really?
Yes. That's why I said I'll never take one and go to work, because I took one and I worked in it wasn't even a call center, but we all lived in a cubicle and it was quiet. I could not sit down, and I was like walking fast around everybody's cubicle. They're like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "I took a pill."
wait, Adipex?
Huh?
Was that Adipex? Because that's Phenermine.
Yeah, Adipex. It was Adipex.
No,
That's what I took.
that Adipex is no joke.
No. I took it one time. I
Wow.
was all over the place. I cleaned my house from head to toe. I was all over the place.
Dang.
On Saturday morning. Like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna react, so I'm gonna take it when I don't have to go to work. I took that pill Saturday morning, y'all. I promise you, I cleaned my house from the front to the back. I was walking through it. And my husband's like, "What is wrong with you?"
No, Adipex will make you. But the thing about Adipex, your highs are high, and when you come,
Yeah.
oh my
Oh, you
god,
crash?
yes, and it actually you start feeling like depressed sometimes too, and anxious. Because when that high, okay, when you take the pill, when you first take it, that high is so damn y'all. So I know what you're talking about, Tonya. And I used to get crunk. Okay, so when we used to be at the call center, I was on Phenermine, child. I was no. Whew,
She would get on to us.
No. I used to have a mirror, right?
Oh, okay.
I used to have a mirror. So when people came behind me, I would look in the mirror. I wouldn't even turn around and look at myself in the mirror. So people thought I wasn't even listening to them. I'm listening, but I'm looking at you. Because I don't like people behind me anyway. I'm like, what? So
Do you think psychologically they say that the kids, how do you know? And I just, this is just my, when they do, when they say the kids are good or whatever, how do you measure that? How do you measure,
Yeah.
I
how
don't
do
know
you
how
measure
you
that
measure it.
the kids are good?
what do you mean good?
Like after, like being raised by a single mother, they see they have no problems or not as many issues, because I did, but how do you measure that?
Okay, this is what I think. Okay, so Ivan says, did you smoke the Benjamin? Who smoked the Benjamin? Nobody. But this is what I think. I think they don't have a hard time when the children are younger because the questions, they're not asking that many questions. Because again, they're well off financially, the child's getting everything they want, they're probably being all in all these different activities, right? It's when they start getting older and they see other parents, where's the father, and then those, I think then it starts to come into play. Because the reality is when there's no man in the house, it is obvious, it is very obvious. That's why I don't understand people say, I don't need a man. Or your kids don't, you tell your kids, you don't need your daddy.
I'll call you.
Yeah.
No,
And
you,
I've heard people say that.
yeah, because what are you promoting when you tell your child that? First of all, to me, number one, you're promoting bitterness. You're saying something's wrong with men. Not all men are trash. A
Right.
lot are, or maybe your experience, or maybe you keep dating the same type of person, right?
Right. But all men aren't, right?
All men
All
are not.
men are dogs.
No, because again, you may have a son. Like I had to check myself because I have a son. I didn't want my son to think his mother hates men. Yes, I was
Right.
angry for a while. I was pissed off, rightfully so. But I had to check myself because my son would think I hate men, and my daughters would think,
Ow.
and it's
Right.
not okay. Either way. So I don't think it's as easy as they make it to see. I think this statistics is based upon when they're younger or they're in a bubble. Because I don't know what bubble you're in. Because at some point, those questions are going to come.
And I think the
Well,
child,
because when you ask a kid when they're small if they miss a father when they're little and they get all the love and hugs and mommy reads stories and mommy's there all the time, they really don't miss it. But then you ask them as they become a teenager or they become uh, a little bit older, well, yeah, they're gonna miss it because mom comes to my basketball games, but Johnny's dad comes to his games,
Right.
and they see
Oh
that,
yeah.
and I was
True. True.
Ice Cube talk about, I mean, Ice Cube's son talk about, his dad. And he was like, I had the greatest dad growing up. He was the best coach. He's real patient. He was just talking about his dad. He said, I did not know that my dad was a big deal till I turned 18. I had
Oh
no, he
wow.
said, I knew my dad was more popular than most, but I did not realize that he was a
oh
big
wow,
18. And I was like shocked to hear that because you would think he would know way before then. But to that point, he enjoyed having his father. And I think kids need both. It doesn't necessarily have to be a father. It could be a grandfather. It can be a
Great.
uncle. It could be but they need that constant male figure in their life, like a dependable male figure in their life.
And it's not just
well,
for
I think
boys, it's for girls too. Girls need
Yes.
as
yes,
well.
girls need that.
Like
Yeah.
my brother tells my daughters that they are pretty.
Yeah.
They need that.
Yeah.
Because I noticed like even with my youngest, he's very involved in that. He goes to activities, he makes sure he's present. Even though he's very annoying because he likes to tell me what to do, but he's present.
Right.
And we need that.
You need that. I mean, and again, I'm not saying that you have to get that from a mate, from a husband. It's kind of ideal to get that, but things happen. Your husband can pass away. Your husband could be in the military. Things happen to where you may not be able to have that perfect, quote unquote, perfect husband-wife situation. But I think kids still need both representatives in their lives because the way I love my son and the way my husband loves my son is two different ways. Very different. We love him both equally, but it's very different.
It's very different. Yeah.
Y'all have no idea. My husband would be sitting on the couch. My son would come and grab my husband by the neck, and then next thing I know, they're wrestling. But they're playing. It's like, really, y'all? It's a different type of love. Like for me, he wants the hugs and the kisses, good night. and the cooking of the food. I mean, in some ways that's very traditional. And he even told me, like, I can come to the game and be at every game with a flag. His dad can come to 4 games, and he's like, okay, Dad, what he's like this, which my husband goes to every game, but I can say, oh, you had a good game. He said, yeah, Mom. Then he looks at my husband, well, Dad, what did I do? What could I have done better? Da, 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 da. It's a different relationship.
Right.
It's different. You're so right. You're so right.
So I think it's important. And for girls, my husband buys my daughters Valentine's gifts every year.
Yeah, my husband does it. You're so sweet. I always tell him, you're so sweet.
So, like you said,
girls, roses too. I'm like, oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah, girls too.
Yeah,
they need it too.
We're gonna get final remarks before we wrap up.
Cause I gotta get on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my final remarks are: if a single parent wants to do it by choice, hooray for you. Just make sure that it's a healthy choice. It's healthy. That the child rearing and all of that is just a healthy way. I think. My
some thoughts, but yeah.
Tonya?
To each their own. If that's what you want to do, more power to you. And I think that as long as they're making good decisions, that's fine. You're financially stable. Because I definitely don't wish single parentness on anybody, because it's so hard. And like you said, when they're young, it's easy. It's when they're 17 and they are just, that's a whole different story. So, but I mean, hey, to each their own. And, I'm here if anybody ever needs me,
Oh, God. Okay, Felicia, did you?
I'm not totally against it, but I say evaluate your reasons why, consider other options. Just don't jump into it blindly thinking that it's a walk in the park, because parenting is a humongous responsibility, and it's a responsibility that now you're going to take on by yourself. So again, get a village, do all the things, do your homework, really, really research and see if this is something that you want to do.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, my final thoughts is if I didn't have children, I would not be opposed to freezing my eggs. I would not. I just get somebody else to carry my baby if I had to.
Right.
But I wouldn't be opposed to it. And I know as somebody that is a single parent now, it's not easy. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if I didn't, I would freeze my eggs. I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think in a time and a space where women have more options now.
Yeah.
We have voices now, guys. We can take our bras if we want to. I mean, you may want to have low-hanging titties. It's a business. But I'm saying, if you want to burn your bra, you can. You can do it. But yeah, I would say I wouldn't recommend it though, personally, for myself. Just because, of where I'm at right now. But anyway, guys, Tonya, thank you again for coming. We hope
Thank you, Tonya.
Yay, Tonya.
I like this. It's fun.
We hope you come next week, please.
Okay, good deal.
Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.